all the things you like. My time pressurizing. You be my queen, I don't need no blues. You be my sugar, don't need no juice. Baby, loving you is a must, yeah. What have I done, girl? I have no. Girl, I'm feeling good. Steady on the grind, I've been making moves. Cause I want satisfy you. Cause you my medicine. Cause you my remedy. When you wake up for money, I go there by your side. Nobody. No go use you do test wrong. Although me I no go do town. You know which one you know. Take your throne. Whenever you need, come up. I don't need no rules. It's a love song, I don't need no blues. You be my sugar, I don't need no juice. Baby, loving you. Girl, I have no clue. From a distance, girl, I'm feeling. Cause I want satisfy you. Cause you my medicine, girl. Oh, when you wake I go there by your side. Oh baby, oh my, oh my.
I won't talk my mind, oh. For anyone will feel relate, oh. Read the macula, yo. Sometimes it feels like success is a trap. And sometimes it feels like people don't understand. Cause the pressure blend and the expectations high. Even your day ones were supposed to get your back. Sometimes day ones they fight. And everybody has an opinion on how you supposed to live your life. And even people were supposed to show you the way. Now the people they backbite. No be pride, no be ego. Sometimes I gotta change my mind. Sometimes I would love to say no. Sometimes I don't go drive me insane, no. So if you see me outside and I no greet you, no vex, papa, my head is full, oh. Now this hustle like this, now this hustle like this. This hustle can be so overwhelming. My own. I got so many things. Wọ́n ní irú pálapàla ò gọ̀ǹgọ̀ lélẹ̀. Kí ló ṣe tẹ́nìkan ò ṣe rí o? Cause family go call. Know who is who. No be pride, no be ego. Sometimes I gotta stay away when I have nothing to say. Sometimes I will have to say no. Sometimes I got some water on top my head. When this pressure don't go. So if you see me for sure and I don't greet you, no vex, papa. Now you know level. I be so like this. Now this hustle like this. Of course, them say any bumpers. Oh, them say any bumpers. Yeah, it's all love, brother. Yeah, it's all love. Love, my brother, it's all love. and I'm good with it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. They call me over. I can no more pretend. They do things for the end. Swear you go like me. Cannot be your man. Doing all the things you like. My temperature. We not don't need no rules. It's a love song, I don't need no blues. You be my sugar, I don't need no juice.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good
evening.
Good evening, everybody. Us all to this Twicher Hangouts. We are so sorry for the little delay. We have started a little bit earlier than this. Wait for some speakers to join us before we start. First and foremost, my name is Adegbenga Samuel. I'm a data and a business intelligence analyst. I'll be taking us through a little what you need to know about Twicher, about today's program. Our handsome and beautiful moderators who will be the one coordinating the program. One theme of today's program is how data analytics is adopted in various sectors. Before we dive into that, let me introduce Twicher to us in a few minutes before I hand over to the moderators. Share same purpose and also for of Twicher is to be the number one and into the marketplace. Now about Twicher. Twicher is a tech education community with a faculty of tech experts and effective learning modules to help you develop your desired tech skill, prepare you for already in-demand jobs, and boost your career. At Twicher, we offer a hands-on learning experience in a friendly community to help you develop new skills and transition into tech. And also, now we began this journey in 2018. We began this journey in 2018. 3,500 people have successfully benefited from our program. Now, the history / the milestone in JAS NG. Right, started with about we have a database of 4,500 students progressing. It started as a partnership with Covenant Capital with over 1,500 students. Now, with the help of volunteers, since September 2019, like that. We have had three cohorts with a record of 2,000 students in total. Now, why choose us? These are some of the learning tracks that we offer at Twicher, starting from product design, we all know as UI UX, cyber security, cloud computing, and mobile development. Now, I'm going to be introducing this handsome man. He is His name is Ebenezer. Okay, well, Ebenezer, are you there? Can you say hi? Hello? Hello, Ebenezer.
Hi, Benga. Hi, Benga.
Ebenezer, are you there?
I'm here. Good evening.
Ebenezer has over. Oh, thank you. Welcome. It's good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Let me just read a bio about Ebenezer. Ebenezer has over 3 years. He is also a senior business analyst to help the business to make strategic decisions and also improve product visibility. Now, before joining Interact, Ebenezer worked as a senior, strategically improving business client performance, activities of the analytics team, and as the Microsoft Excel and BI training arm of the company. And also, I have Fifumi Evelyn. Fifumi, are you there? Can you say hi to us? Hello, Fifumi, are you there?
Benga, hi.
Hi, it's good to have you here. Fifumi is a physiologist, a public health administrator.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
A lifestyle coach. So let me hand over to, can you take over?
Yeah, Benga, thank you so much. You have done so well. As Benga earlier said, it's good to have everyone on board. Good evening. So my name is Ebenezer. I will be the moderator for today's program. And also with me, we have Fifi. I actually call her, so I think we should get used to me calling her Fifi. Okay, so Karen,
Yeah, it's good to be here, and it's good to be moderating this event with you. I'm super excited.
I'm super excited myself. Okay, with no particular order, we have brought in gurus in the field of data analytics across different sectors, and in no particular order, we would actually just bring them on board for us to know that we have actually brought the original version of them, not the fake version of them. And I would like to start with Rashid Abdul Karim. Is he on the call? Can you please just show yourself? Let people see that we have brought the original version of you. Rashid. Rashid, can we see your face? Okay, Rashid is not here yet. So, okay, I'll just move on to the next person. We also have Abraham Musa. Abraham Musa, can you just say hi? Let us see your face. Let people know that we have the original version of you.
Hi, everyone. Good to be here.
So good to be here. Nice seeing you. And the next person, Chioma Okafor. Chioma Okafor. Can we see you?
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Nice to be here.
Oh, it's a privilege. Okay, next person, Bamidele Adiola. Bamidele Adiola. You just turn on your video, say hi. I think you're muted.
Oh, apologies. Hi, everyone. Good to be here.
It's good to have you here. Also, we have Iremide Olatunji. Iremide Olatunji. In our picture, you know she smiles a lot, so I expect to see the version of her smiling.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Good
Hi.
evening. So good
It's
to
good
have
to
you.
be here. Pleasure.
Good to have you. We also have another speaker. He's not on board right now. Samuel Aro Jojoy. So we'll actually bring them on board in common. And then Rashid Abdul Karim. Over to you, Fifi. I'm so excited.
Okay, so we're going to be reading the citations of our speakers, so you know that they are qualified to actually teach us and, let us in on how we can actually use data analytics in several sectors. But briefly, I just want us to know that today is going to be super impactful. And the reason why Ebenezer and I are co-moderating this program is to ensure that we give you the best content, the premium content in the shortest time possible. We're going to ensure that we do not waste your time, a maximum of 1 hour, 30 minutes. We're going to be asking our moderators series of questions. So we have our guests series of questions, and they're going to be answering us. And if you have questions as well, you can always drop them on the chat box, and we're going to take those questions at the end of the general questions. And I just want us to know that they are going to be dissecting data analytics in various sectors. We have guest speakers from NGO sector. We have them from FCMG sector, FMCG sector. The first speaker I'm going to be introducing is a data analyst at Nigerian Breweries. She's been with Nigerian Breweries since 2020, and she's a certified Microsoft Data Analyst Associate. She received a bachelor's degree in business management from Zenith University, Accra. Our goal is to develop and migrate reports for different functional units. She's focused on reducing the need for manual reporting. She currently lives in Lagos, and she enjoys meeting new friends who aspire to learn data analytics. She has said hi to us before, but I would just like to see her face again. Please, hello, let's introduce and welcome Iwemide Olatunji. You're welcome, and we are happy to have you this evening.
Hi, Fifi. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, and then the next person is our second lady. You know, I'm a lady, so I want to introduce our ladies first. Our men, don't be angry. Okay, so she has MCT, she has MCDA, she has MSc. She is electronic and computer engineering graduate. She's a Microsoft certified trainer. She's a Microsoft certified data analyst. She's a mentor and trainer, tech stylist NGO, Scrum Master, and an evangelist for agile way of working. Please let's introduce and welcome Chioma Okafor. You're welcome this evening. We're so glad to have you. Hello, Chioma.
Hi, Fifi.
You're welcome. We can't wait to hear from your wealth of expertise. Okay, the next person I'll be introducing, it builds machine learning and credit risk models for banking and non-banking institutions. You know, I told us earlier that we're going to be hearing from people from various sectors. They'll be dissecting data analysis. And then he has developed these models for several institutions, including Union Bank, LSETF, Flutterwave, Z Advance, and Move. The average evaluation metrics for the models is 85%, and he has built a robust salary indication model that can effectively identify salary from a bank statement using over 3 million observations that comprise bank statements from the leading bank institutions in Nigeria. And other important analyses it did on bank statements includes the cash flow, spending, transaction categorization, and sweep analysis. And in the project, it led to a 20% increase in client acquisition, a 40% increase in monthly recurring revenue, and a 20% increase in client retention. He loves data. We can see that truly he loves data. I'm always excited when I see the figures. It shows that he's really into data. So let's welcome Abraham Musa. You're so welcome, and we're happy to have you this evening. Hello, Abraham.
Hi, Fifi. Thanks. Pleasure is mine.
Okay, and we're going to, we have a few more. We have a few more guest speakers, but some of them are not yet here with us. So as they join, we're going to introduce them. So I'm so excited, and I'm sure that we're going to learn a lot. So I just advise everybody to have their book and their pen, because we're just going to move into the whole question and answer sessions and start to gain as much as possible from these speakers. Looking at their citations, you can see that they are certified to train us. A lot of them even have over 9 years, over 6 years of experience. So we're going to enjoy hearing from them. Over to you, Ebenezer.
Oh, Fifi, you've actually done well. But I think you're missing out my guy, Bamidele Adiola. Okay, so let me quickly just take the citation for Bamidele Adiola. Bamidele Adiola has over 6 years experience working as a data analyst. Currently is a senior data analyst at Venture Garden, right? Wow, that's huge. Reading out hidden facts about data, meaning is the gospel. That's the gospel of data, preaching out the gospel in data, okay? Improving products and services for customers by using advanced analytics, visualization softwares, standing up big data analytical tools, creating and maintaining models, and onboarding compelling new data sets. Previously, he was a senior data analyst at GDM Group, Bagada, Lagos, where he analyzed several FMCG's data and present same by business intelligence dashboard for data-driven decisions. Competencies, data science is a experience in machine learning, SQL, advanced Excel, professional, Python and R, financial analysis, market research analysis, econometrics. Please welcome Bamidele Adiola. Once again. Hello?
Hi.
Okay.
Hi.
Yeah, good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So perfect.
Hi,
good to have you all here. Thank you so much for honoring us. And as we all know that Twicher is a preacher of the gospel revolving around data analytics. And to start with, I just need to give us a recap or a brief introduction of data analytics. Not so much of a brief introduction, just a definition of data analytics for some of our viewers that are watching us online. Data analysis is the science of analyzing data, right, to derive information, derive insights that would help in informing decisions, right? And we have a lot of professionals in that field that would help us chunk out questions, read out our questions, our concerns around data. What do you think the adoption is in Nigeria? How has it been going? How is it growing? How we are adopting it across different sectors? Are some sectors adopting it better than some other sectors? Is data actually the main decision or the main focus of making decisions, right? So with that, I'm going to start with, let me start with Bamidele, okay? So I'm just going to ask a few questions, and it's not going to be specific to one person, so we'll just be moving it over and over. Please, let's just have fun. It's going to be fun, right? Fifi, please confirm it's going to be fun.
Yes, it's going to be super fun. We're going to be learning and catching fun.
That's perfect. Okay, so for Mr. Adiola Bamidele, okay, I would like you to turn on your video. Yeah, so we want to see you, want to learn from you. I have my notepad, like it's here, right? I need to learn from you. Okay, so I would want to ask the question about adoption. How do you think Nigeria generally is adopting data analytics or analytics itself in a real form? How do you feel Nigeria is? Are we adopting it well? What do you think about it, the adoption and all that?
All right, thank you, okay. Thank you very much, Beneza, for that question. So it's good to be here. I would say that really, basically in Nigeria, we have not really chunk out the part of data. Actually, we have not really started adopting data chunking and really out informations and really drilling through data here in Nigeria. So adoption rate will be at 20%. Really, I did some analysis 2 years ago, and I was like, okay, really at the level of where we are currently and how the pace with which we are going. And that is why you see that a lot of people are really jumping into that feed. Even with that, you will still notice that a lot of people are not really specific to one particular area of it because it is a volatile environment and people are just moving from year to year to year and like. So if you look at the analytics work stream, looking at the descriptive, the diagnostic, and then the predictive before you move into the prescriptive analytics and finishing it up with the cognitive analytics and work stream. If you look at that work stream, 20% of what we do here in Nigeria still falls around the descriptive level. We have not really gone into really drilling down and then asking why on data. And that is where we'll be looking at the cognitive part. And for companies that will do the cognitive aspect of data, there are few, like say a 10% will be looking at the why aspect. And when we now move to the predictive, only few will say, okay, from what we have in the past and what we've been able to see, that is the issue of data, how are we able to predict? So it goes on and on. Really, in Nigeria, we're not there yet, actually. Where we're supposed to be will have been the cognitive part of data. And because it is a circular chain, we have not gone there. And that cognitive part, only 5% from the analysis that I have seen, only 5% of companies in Nigeria are able to get to the cognitive part of data. And that is where we are looking at, okay, artificial intelligence, then the machine learning aspect of data, whatever you have seen from the data, yes, you have been able to see the descriptive of what happened in the past. Now, what happened in the past, and are you able to get some insight into why it happened? That is the cognitive aspect of it. And then predict into what could have happened. If looking at the trend 2, 3, 4 years ago, exactly when it gets to a particular month, September, we always have this spike or hike in data. So when we do that, we predict, okay, yes, if we are having 20 million in 2004, 40 million in 2005 the next year, and then like that, you'll be able to predict, okay, definitely we'll be able to have this so amount of value. And for companies that are in the FMCG, right, I did a particular analysis for someone, and that analysis was for a particular market. And that market, what they do is they are into the sales of these schools, school bags, then the school bags and anything that pertains to students. So from the data they give, you were able to see that at every September, there's always a hike. That is the Nigerian context. So descriptive will tell you there's always a hike in September. But the aspect of the aspect that follows descriptive, that will now be looking at, okay, yes, there's this aspect of descriptive. What is the next one? We want to say, okay, why are there this kind of spike in September alone? Then we should be able to bring into that diagnostic aspect of it, because diagnostic will tell you, help you to answer questions about why things happen, why are they. So I was able to say, okay, at every September, because of school resumption at that period, then you always definitely have that spike in that month. And then you were able to predict and say, okay, this is what, by and large, it is just like a chain. We are not there yet. The larger percent of what we do here in Nigeria still falls around the descriptive aspect of analytics. We have not really gone into the diagnostic and predictive and the prescriptive and the cognitive part of it. Thank you.
Wow, Mr. Thank you so much, Mr. Bamdele. You've actually eaten a lot. I've learned a lot. So basically, from what I can deduce from what you said, like Nigeria hasn't scratched much of the surface of analytics, right? Like basically, we're still around 20%. And even in that 20%, our strength is still more on the descriptive, not even talking on the cognitive, not talking on diagnostic. Why asking questions like, why is this happening in the first place? How can we get to solve this so that it doesn't happen in the future, and then predict what's going to happen in the future, right? Wow, this is beautiful. I feel we're actually learning a lot. If you're not learning, I don't know where you are. If you're not on Twitter right now, I really want to say you're missing. You're really missing. Over to Fifi. Thank you, Mr. Bamdele.
I really gained a lot from that. And due to what he said, I think because we don't just look at the downside to things, that's the downside of Nigeria, actually. But we can't just dwell on it. I feel that that's hope for those are looking to it means that it's to want to learn it. So I would like him to just quickly and briefly tell us about the basic requirements to become a data analyst. Like, what do you need to be able to be a sound data analyst that can, do all the aspects of data and just give us, and, Nigeria will be a better place in terms of data.
All right, thank you very much for that question, currently. So I appreciate that. So let me quickly say something. Yeah. So I keep hearing people say to be a sound data analyst, and then it takes time. And that is the thing, it takes time. A lot of people do not want to invest the time required for that field, and then you want to become the best. So you cannot be, I would definitely say that you can't be the best in that field. You can only be the best of yourself. And the best of yourself will mean, okay, how much time are you able to chunk into that space? I've seen someone that is having 2 years. With 2 years, that person has been able to chunk extra hours. And whereas somebody has been there for, say, 10 years, 8 years, and with limited scope of what he or she knows. Now, it is a fast-paced environment that you keep learning. You have to keep learning. Learning never stops. So about what is needed, it needs time. You give it time. You start right. You start right. A lot of people, I keep hearing, okay, yes, somebody reach out to me and say, okay, and I want to be, how can I be a senior data analyst? How can I be the best in data analytics? I want to be a senior data analyst. And then the first thing it was throwing at me is how much does data analyst and how much they earn? So things like that. It doesn't work like that. It's about, and then there is this might. There's this might of skills and tools. Skill tools might syndrome. It's not about your tools. Most often, it's about your skills. Now, I will explain what I meant by that. So you see, people will say, okay, I know how to use SQL, I know how to use Power BI, I know how to use this and that. All those are tools. So if you know how to use these tools, it doesn't really mean that you may be sound in that field. What will separate you, what will differentiate you, what will make you, a very, very prominent person in that field will be your problem solving skills. You must always solve a problem, no matter what it is. Everywhere I get to say, okay, companies, people are paying you for the problem you are solving. Just that there's going to be the aspect of you using the skills to solve the problem. Yes, what is the essence of you knowing how to use SQL without knowing the foundation of database? Without knowing the requirements for databases, without knowing the requirement for foreign and primary keys, what are the relationship? All these are the skills you should learn. So in that field, there is a lot of hype for tools. You must learn that skills should be more important to you. Say problem solving skills, you must be able to solve a problem. You are paid for the problem you are solving. Nobody wants to know what tools do you use, how do you do it, but you have solved a particular problem. I can see some profiles. Okay, you have used machine learning to do this and that. What you have solved really is that problem solving. You have that mindset to solve a particular problem, and that is what will lead you into critical thinking. That is my second point. What you need critical thinking. You must be able to think. You must be able to critique data. You must be able to dice data. You must be able to say, okay, what can come out of this data? All these are needed, and just not the skills. You know how to, SQL is there. It is always there. You must know what you need to do with SQL because it is a tool, and a lot of people want to learn, and then you should be able to communicate and advocate for action. You must communicate. There is always a pace of communication. Whatever you have done, whatever you have presented, no matter how beautiful they are, you must communicate. You must communicate something. Data has some language. It has some meaning. You must bring it out, communicate it. And then even after it is being communicated, you must be able to understand what you are communicating. Okay, this is what it's saying. Then one very vital one that I always tell people is have this business acumen. You must be business oriented. No matter what you want to do with data, there is a business side of data. there's a business, okay, there's a business that is tied to the data. So you must have that knowledge of, okay, business, how is business, how do they do business? So, and the last part of it is technical skills. And I understand why I put this technical is the last aspect of this syndrome, like 5: problem solving, critical thinking. You want to have communication, you want to have business acumen, and that technical skills is where you can now start putting your SQL, your Python, your R, your Excel. Make sure you start from Excel. I will say this again. Why we start, Excel is always the bedrock. When you start Excel, know the rudiment of Excel. Know Excel very well. And as a data person, once you know that, it will be easier for you to say you want to do some programming in Python and then SQL, which is always very close to Excel, but know Excel very well. Start from there. If you start from there, you're going to make life easier. And all these are still technical skills. You cannot just start Excel without even understanding what you want to do with Excel. And that is why it's come from the top: problem solving, critical thinking, communication, and then business acumen. Then we can now pick the tools that we are looking into. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. He said the list like 3 times, so I'm sure that we all got that and gained from that. So, and I just want to drop this in. One thing I noticed about almost all our guest speakers is the fact that most of them are Microsoft certified data analysts. So when you're building your skills, you should also look to getting certifications because it shows that they know their onions. Okay, so very quickly, I'd like to ask Ibemide, she's working in Nigerian breweries. So I just want to know the responsibility of a data analyst in our sector. Ibemide, are you there?
Hi, Fifi. How are you?
I'm
Thank you so much. And I must really commend Bamidele. That was an awesome opening note. Like, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was right on point, spot on. Like, if you're not taking note of everything he has said, then you are really missing out. Like, it was spot on. Thank you so much, Bamidele. I really enjoyed your conversation. Yeah, so based on the question that Fifi had said, I would like to give us a little bit background towards my own journey into Nigerian breweries, right? Because there are some of us in this call that you wonder, okay, what is actually happening? How can I actually get into this field, right? And you see people's profile like Bamidele and like saying 6 years, 3 years, 10 years, like, oh my God, how can I even start and compete in this kind of field, right? Some of us like me have less than 2 years as a data analyst. Right, I was forced by COVID-19 into this phase, right? I know COVID-19 breakdown actually forced a lot of people to really go into the tech space, right? The tech space has been there, but then it was just, on the globe until COVID-19 came up, disrupted our normal, and then gave us a new normal, and then everybody's trying to find where they are actually placed. I came from marketing advertising into data analytics, right? So in Nigerian, when I got my job in Nigeria, Nigerian bureaus that really exposed me, right, to data analytics. And even when I got to Nigerian bureaus, then it was so shocking to know that a company as big as that, like, Nigerian bureau is number 1 when it comes to brewing of alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks, right? Followed by international breweries, then Guinness. To corner that a company as big as Nigerian breweries only uses Excel. I have a colleague there, Benga. I'm sure you can attest to this. Like, we were out there and then we were doing manual Excel work. Like, seriously. Like, I was thinking I was going to get in and then they'll train me in some technological skills. And then, when I go outside, I'll be like, yes, I'm doing Apache Spark. I'm doing this. I don't know, flaunt my skill. But then I got in and then it was actually Excel, right? And that is where the point where Bamidele said about problem solving, critical thinking, and understanding the business come in. So it now led from aside the Excel skill that I also had and a little bit of Power BI here and there when I started then, it took my problem solving skill, critical thinking, and business knowledge that actually made me think that no, we need to do more. than we are currently doing, right? So the management had it in mind to be like, oh, they want to do more, but they don't know how. So I'm like, okay, I have a little bit technical skill here. So let's see if we can merge both our Excel and my own little skill in this Power BI 2 and Tableau skill to see if we can, improve our business process, right? And then we did that, and then it worked. The entire management approved it, and then that is what they're using for their reporting. And then it grew from that. You're like, okay, so now we cannot just pick in our data set from Excel, right? Let's move up. Let's start picking directly from the database itself, right? Then the need for SQL arise. Then I have to upskill myself, right? Learn on the job, watch videos, attend classes, talk to mentors, friends, just to put myself out there, because you really need to solve a problem for an organization. That is where you become a person of value, right? Data analytics makes you a person of value. And I kind of tell people that you don't have to really leave your career path. If you're in marketing, if you're in accounting, if you're in customer service, you can stay wherever you are and just add analytics to what you do, right? You don't have to leave it entirely and say, oh, I want to come and work in the digital team only. No, even staying in the digital team is risky for you because artificial intelligence is taking over. So in no time, all these things we are doing will be done automatically, and then there will be no need for a data team hanging around in any office anymore. So you actually have to be a person of value. So from SQL, then we started seeing that yes, some of our technological application here and there, they are not thinking, they are working independently, which should not be. In a particular department, like in sales, we have about 3 applications running on sale on the sales rep phone, on the vehicle salesman phone, in the depletion office, in the office, the stock report, and then these applications are just running on their own. There is no they are not interrelated. There is no relationship. So if you need something, you have to wait to download from this application, then wait to download from that other application, then wait. It was becoming tedious, right? Then we started thinking of, how can we make sure, how can we build an application, right? Get programmers to build something for us that will speak to these 3 applications that we have in such a way that at just a click of a button, I can see my performance. I don't have to wait for them in the stock to tell me, oh, what I actually sold yesterday and what is left in the distributor outlet, right? Before you can now start assessing my performance. But now within a click of a button, you can see all your figures, all your facts. Yeah, I feel that is an improvement. Like Bamidele has said, in Nigeria, we are still growing. We are still learning in this field, right? One step at a time. One step. And in Nigerian breed, there's something we call the X+1, right? Wherever you are, just add one. Just add one. Just add one. And in no time, I believe with the way Africa is going, the pace at which Africa is going, in 5-10 years, we should be there when it comes to data management and artificial intelligence. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was very amazing. So we've heard from FCMG sector, and she has told us a lot. So I just hope that we all gained that. And I have missed Ebenezer's voice. Ebenezer, are you there?
I'm here. I've been waiting for you to call on me. It's really fun. One thing actually amazed me, and that gave me a confirmation of this all is that Bamidele said something, and in no less than 5 minutes, we got a confirmation from Iremide. On point, it was spot on. So you actually made a lot of sense. Bamidele said something about language, data language, right? While Iremide also confirmed something about what Bamidele said about years of experience, meaning that in the tech space, years of experience doesn't really matter. You can get in yesterday and still be better than people that have been there 2, 5, 10 years ago. Why? Because they failed to upskill. They stayed put to just working on Excel and becoming a guru on Excel, whereas the world is transforming around or beyond Excel. Wow, that's beautiful. Iremide, I'm doffing my cap for you. You and Bamidele, you guys are on point. You guys are killing it. You're killing it. Okay, Iremide, let me just ask you another one. Another fast one. Okay, so what do you think? How would you describe the future of data analytics in Nigeria with the way we're adopting analytics? What do you feel is the future for them? I know you made mention of something around it that you have to upskill, right? But then what are the future? What do you feel like, okay, as a data analyst, what next do you think you should learn after being a data? Because we said now, yeah, AI is taking a lot of our place, right? But apparently it will not take our place, but then it's taking a lot of our jobs, reducing manpower, right? But what do you think a data analyst can also do or learn or to just get better revolving around data analytics? outside data, being a data analyst, you can also maybe probably move to other fields that would still help you. What do you think?
Yeah, hi Ebenezer. So I think the right question you should be asking is what is the future for the new technology that COVID-19 forced us into, right? The new normal. So now it's not only data analytics that is out there. We have new technology like AI and the cloud. You'll be talking about cloud computing here and there, right? So if you really feel you don't have to be in data alone. You can move to cloud computing. You can move to artificial intelligence and robotics, right? We have something called 5G. I know most of us have not really paid attention to 5G. 5G and mobile internet is also a beautiful place to also venture into. Then we have blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and decentralized finance, right? These are other aspects like the new technology has forced us into that brought to light so that there is actually there's a growth here, right? There's an opportunity here. Then we have digital security management, where we have cyber security, digital business risk management, information security, and digital forensics. Then we have the data management and big data analytics, right? So data analysis is just one part, right? There's a whole lot to it. Then we have the fintech space. I'm sure rise of last year and this year, we can see the way Kuda Bank, Cowrywise, everybody, the fintechs are just on point. Everywhere you are seeing, get a credit card, get this. So these are spaces that you can venture into. So you see that this field is actually very wide, right? It's very wide. So you don't have to limit yourself to data analytics. If I have a chance, I'm going to move to cloud computing straight up. To get the skill, I don't want to limit myself, right? The space is so big. So the future is wide and bright. And the most interesting part of it is, in Africa, we are still in the learning phase, right? We still haven't figured it out entirely. So this is the time to really welcome everyone into, let's figure it out together. Let's learn together. Let's grow together, right? They say best of the same feather flock together. Let's all flock together. Let's move together because the future of data is bright. The future of the new technology is bright. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Please, I need to reach out to you after this. I need to get your I need to sign up for mentorship. You have a lot. I think we have a lot today. And this is just two out of great men that we brought on board. This is just two out of them. And I can tell you that we're killing it. Wow. You just need to keep growing. Cloud computing. How do I start from? Security, risk, fintech. There's a whole lot of information that she has just dropped, and I feel like it's overwhelming. But anyways, thank you, Rebide. You actually nailed it. You hit it, and I'm sure that our people live are actually listening to this, and they are keeping tab on it, right? They're keeping the information. They are putting one or two things down on their notepad, right? Okay, now I'm going to call another person, another great guy in this space, right? I'm going to call another big guy in this space, Abraham Musa, and my question is going to be to him. The question is going to be okay, so Abraham Musa, can you just please turn on your screen? Let's see your face. Let me even see your face. Let me see you smiling. Yeah. So having to see you is bringing joy because I really know you're a man of substance. You're vast. Your profile is hungering me. I really wish it's as in so intimidating.
Don't be intimidated though.
I am. Actually, I am. Okay, I want to ask you a question. How are you able to keep up with this trend? Because I know it's a trend of a thing, from data analytics, you're into working on different programs, working with different languages. I've been able to just keep up with trend because we know, for example, looking at Power BI, Power BI drops updates every month. And I can tell you that maybe the last update I was able to follow up maybe 6 months ago, 7 months ago. How are you able to keep up with trend? How are you able to, and how would you advise people to be able to keep up with this trend?
Okay, thanks for that question. So if I was to answer that question with a one-liner, what I would essentially say is focus and consistency, right? In the data space, one of the things that we all need to know is that, there's a lot of evolution currently going on that will still go on in the near future and even, years from now, right? And if one is not focused and consistent, it is so easy to get carried away by, any trend that just comes up. Just yesterday, for instance, I was just thinking around, the space, new things that are coming up, new tools to learn, new technologies and all of that. And then I was just telling myself that focus is very, very important. I mean, everything for me still drives down to focus, because now you could be learning a particular technology or tool today, and then you're just getting a grasp of it. And before you know it, there's something new that is on the blog out there. I mean, this one is the fire, this one is more than this and all of that, But if you're someone who is not focused, what happens is that you have half of a bit of information about everything. And for me, that is not a good way to be able to learn and become a professional. So let's say, for instance, maybe at the beginning of this year, you said that you want to be able to improve yourself in Power BI, maybe machine learning and Excel, right? I believe that if you focus so well, and then you develop a strategy and curriculum for your learning, if you do that for 1 year period, after 1 year, you can divert to other things, right? But then what happens is that if you do not have maybe a plan or a strategy in place, you could start learning Power BI in January, and then maybe February 1, you discover that there's a new tool called DBT or something else. You would leave Power BI, you've not mastered it, and you jump to DBT. You start learning DBT, for instance, and then maybe in March, you discover that there's one very cool feature that's in Excel that everybody's jumping on, and you just start to jump from here and there. And what that does to you is that you will not be a master of your craft, right? And for me, one of the things I've actually done is putting so much effort into learning something. I believe that if I have 5 things to learn, right, I'll actually strategize my time to learning one thing per time. Because I always believe that if you have divided attention, there's not so much you can actually be able to do. If you drop a man who is learning one thing consistently, maybe devoting 2 hours per day and learning one thing consistently for 1 month, and then you drop someone who is devoting maybe 3 hours and learning 3 things. In my own honest opinion, I think that over time, this person who is giving more to learning one thing and then jumping to another thing once he has gained mastery is able to become a master of several things compared to this person who is just jumping on one trend or the other. So don't be scared. Trend will generally arise. New technologies, new tools generally arise. And that's why I think, let me just even agree with what Bamidele and the last speaker talked about. I mean, when I was preparing the slide, one of the things I actually mentioned is that tools will always arise, right? But then once you have the fundamental, which is the problem solving, critical thinking, and analytical strategy that he mentioned, wherever you find yourself, you can be able to pick on a new tool. Let's say, for instance, just very recently, there was a project I was working on that had me to be able to jump on a particular tool I've never used before. But then because I spent time when starting my career to understand the principle behind logic, it was easier for me to be able to jump from the tool I knew to that tool I had to be able to learn to deliver on the job. And I learned that tool within a very short time, and I delivered excellently on that particular project. So focus, consistency. Don't get carried away by the noise. There's in machine learning, there's this thing called outliers and noise. Outliers are things that come to distract you away. Focus. If there's an outlier that comes, for me, what I do is that if there's a new technology that comes, and I'm seeing it on every blog post I see here and there, what I do is that I add it to the pipeline of things I need to learn. So that it doesn't distract me from what I'm currently learning. And once I've finished exhausting the list of things I need to learn, then there's more time for me. I can now jump onto that new technology that I have in my pipelines of things to learn. So that's how I've actually been able to maintain this mastery over time.
Well, I'm really sorry, Abraham, you've actually nailed it. Thank you so much for the post. I actually learned a lot. I learned that focus is key. Focus is critical. Once you lose your focus, automatically you become you won't be a master at anything. Basically, you would just be jumping from one. You sleep here today, sleep another way tomorrow. DBT is out today. You jump at DBT before you know Excel is out again. To Notepad and all of those things. Wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I think Fifi has something for us from Abraham. Fifi.
Yes, okay, so I've been hearing so many, and we've been talking about so many parts analysis, and I just want us to really focus on data analytics, because some people are actually here because of data analytics. And I mean, I've not even started data analytics, and then I'm hearing so many others. So I'd just like us to slow down a bit, so that some of us that are still trying to find our grounds are able to pick up something and then get the expertise. So most of my questions will be into data analysis. Like, let's break it down, let people understand. So I'd just like you to just give us an overview of the tools that are needed for data analysis, just a list of tools that you need to be able to analyze your data, the best tools that you believe are good for data analysis.
Okay, thanks for that question. Before I actually go forward, one thing that is good to know is that different companies have different tools that are used for data analytics, right? And I mean, for every data professional, the tool that you use part time is highly dependent on, I mean, the organization you find yourself. So let's say, for instance, I'm working for organization A and they're using tool ABC. You know what happens is that to be able to get the job done, I need to actually use tool ABC, right? If I find myself in organization B and they're using CDE, you know, and that also helps them to be able to get the job done, that means I need to be able to use CD. And that's why it is not so good to be so focused on tool itself, because I mean, tools are everywhere, right? So if I'm to say, like, I mean, for the data analytics tool sets, one of the most important tools you need to be able to have is SQL, right? You need to be able to query data. You know, most of the time, the data that you actually analyze or maybe just derive insights from is stored in a warehouse somewhere. It's not like you have it on your local machine. This data runs into petabytes, you know, they are large data, big data, you know. So you need to have a knowledge of SQL to be able to extract this data from, you know, different data warehouse that is actually stored. I mean, if you find yourself in an organization where, you know, they just tell you that, okay, as a data analyst, we just employed you, this is where data is, you know, this is the information we need you to be able to get from the data. If you don't have a good knowledge of SQL, I mean, you can't be able to put that data to whatever environment you need to be able to work. SQL is very, 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 very important. There's no way you can actually be able to emphasize the importance of SQL. Then the second you also need is Excel. You know, time to time, you need to be able to sort of pull this data into an Excel and do some form of manipulation and just see some graphs. And then you also need like Power BI. You know, most of the time, you want to be able to do visualization, you want to be able to do some form of analysis, write some DAX formulas here and there. You need Power BI. Some companies actually use other variants of you know, visualization tool like Tableau. Like, for instance, the company where I work, we make use of Tableau, you know, but there are sometimes you find yourself in other companies that make use of Power BI to be able to do like some form of data analysis and visualization. Then aside these tools, let me see if there's a list of any other tool. Yes, and then you also need to be able to work with, you know, data warehouse tools. For instance, some companies make use of BigQuery, some companies use Redshift, some companies use Snowflakes. You know, so essentially, why this is very, very important is because if you find yourself in an environment where a company is using BigQuery, you need to be able to understand how to use that tool. And one good thing is that if you know how to be able to use SQL, I mean, if you want to query data in BigQuery, and then you find yourself in a Snowflake environment, with just little upskilling, you can actually be able to pull whatever data wherever it is actually like stored. And then there's data cataloging tool that you need to be able to understand how to use. One popular one that I always recommend is Castodoc. So with Castodoc, it's just like you have a catalog of, you know, different data. So in a data warehouse, it comprises of several different data that you can use to do different things. I mean, if someone just throws you to a data warehouse that comprises 1 million tables or 100 tables, you don't know what to do. You know, so with tools like Castodoc, for instance, it contains metadata about different data you have in your data warehouse. So for instance, if you have a data about people information, you want to be able to know the kind of tables that are in that database, what each table contains, and then you know, how you can be able to reference it whenever you need. So all things being said, Excel is very, very important. SQL is very, very important. Power BI is a very, very important tool. And then for data cataloging, I mean, you need Castodoc as well.
Okay, thank you so much. So for both of us that are looking into data analysis, you heard it. You definitely will solve a problem. That's like the ultimate goal. But in order to achieve that, your problem solving, you need some tools. And then the expertise of these ones that he has mentioned will definitely help you to achieve that. Thank you so much. We're so glad that we can at least know how to start and where to head to. Thank you so much. That was really insightful. So I'm just moving on very quickly to Chioma. I think I really need to see her. I want to ask you some questions. Chioma, are you there? Chima, are you there? Hello, Chima. Okay, I think our network is a bit down. Chima, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me? Hello? I can hear you. Can you hear me now? Hello? Oh.
Fifi,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you now, Choma.
Okay, good. Good.
So
It
good
feels
to
like
have you. Yeah, I can imagine.
Okay. Okay.
So good to have you on board.
Senator.
You're welcome. And one of the things I've been looking out for, one of it is more in your smile. Even in your picture, you're smiling, always smiling. And that's something that is no, I'm not. I think data analysts need that more often, because when you're going to be working on data, you end up spending most of your time cleaning data, doing reports. You have to be on pressure, you have to be on the spot at different times. Imagine your manager having to get a gig maybe like weeks back or days back, and he's only reminding you, or she's reminding you a few hours to the time, like, yeah, I need you to solve this thing. So I can imagine that this smile will actually help us a lot. For me, is how do I put it? It makes me find peace somehow. I don't know about others, but I'm actually excited. I'm excited.
Thank
Every
you.
are you back?
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Fifi, are you there? Okay. So while we're waiting for my colleague, okay, I have a question. And that question has to do around data, because the essence of this is to preach data to people, let them understand what they can do. A lot of people are out there confused. They don't even know what to do. They don't even know how to get into the space and all of those things. What would you say? For example, now for a person still in school, say a fresh graduate or a core member, what would you advise? What are the step, or how would you walk them through the process of becoming a data analyst or getting into the tech space?
Okay. So so far I want to acknowledge Bamidele, Iremide, and then Abraham. They've done justice. They've done justice to the whole topic. So even asking me this question, they've kind of answered it.
Yeah.
So basically, if you want to get into the tech space, if you want to get into data analytics, personally, I have this passion for coaching young people to come into the tech space, because especially ladies, right? Because I feel like there's a lot. When you talk about tech space, it's broad, but I'm just going to narrow it down to data analytics. Data analytics is also quite broad. When we talk about data, you just hear this common saying that says, data is the new oil. And that's true, because everything that we are doing right now, it has something to do with data. It cuts across all sectors, all industries, right? Because from let's say, even from the marketing, production, manufacturing, all around, it cuts across, because you can't make decisions. Gone are the days when you just make decisions based on assumptions, right? You feel like, okay, if I do it this way, it's going to happen this way. No. Now we are talking about using data that you have to be able to make decisions. And this time around, making decisions as you know that, yes, it's as good as accurate to what you have obtainable, right? Because you're not just basing it on anything, you're basing it on facts. Now, as a young person in school and you want to come into the tech space, you want to come into data analytics, please jump on it, because data is so broad. Data analysis you will be needed everywhere. They're relevant in all sectors, whether it be public health, be it business, just name it. Now, how do you start? It's very simple. Like, it's not a big deal. I'm so happy that Iremide was here to tell us about her experience. It means that you can start today and you can even overtake somebody that has been there for years. It's all about determination and consistency. So you can start somewhere. You know, people talk about the skills, when you talk about skills, you could be looking at hard skills, you could be looking at soft skills. Soft skills are things you just have to know, you just have to learn them. When you talk about soft skills, you're talking about the critical thinking, by Midele mentioned it. You're talking about problem solving skills, you're talking about just those minimum, because somehow you will need them at the end of the day. Then when we talk about the hard skills, that's when you start talking about the Power BI and the rest that we talked about, because at the end of the day, you want to know how to use these tools, right? To be able to, so you talk about data, yes, you're giving data. How do you go about it? You want to know how to go about it. And for you to know how to go about it, you need to understand how it works and the tools that you can use to work on it. So basically, most people will say start with Excel, which is fine because Excel, it seems like it's the bedrock of more data analysis and analytical tools. But it all depends on you. It all depends on where you want to start from. Most times it depends on even the sector you're starting from. So basically, I would say for somebody that is coming on board, because gone are the days when you just come out from school. It's so unfortunate that our school system is still kind of way back where they teach things that you might eventually not even use at the end of the day, right? That's the fact. That is what is happening, and it's just so painful. We should start looking at ways that we can now bring into curriculum, bring into our curriculum, like stuff like data. Data is very simple for me. Data analytics is very simple. It's all about you bringing out the time and the passion. And it's just all about you having to sign up. Okay, so there are so many free courses online where you can go and learn some skills. There are also paid ones where they can take you by the hand and guide you all through. All you need to do is to dedicate time and dedication. Start from somewhere. If you decide to learn a particular tool, say, for example, Power BI. I always use Power BI because that seems like where I have my strength. Power BI is very simple. I keep saying it. Yes, it's kind of broad and in-depth when you start going, but start from somewhere. The ability to just bring a data, look at it, clean it up, get it to a particular stage and be able to start bringing out reports from it, analyzing it and then publish, and then tell somebody, okay, instead of looking at rows, thousands of rows and columns, this is it. Just using a report, just using a picture, maybe of bar chart, you can say, okay, this is the topmost in the company. This is where we're making our sales, higher sales. This is where we're getting profit. It's fun. It's actually fun. So if you're someone there listening to this program right now, you can start somewhere. One thing I can assure you is very simple. It's not hard, but you need to dedicate time. You need to dedicate your resources. When you say dedication, it's not just time. You need to dedicate time, resources, effort, and then what else? Basically, that's it. Start somewhere, learn one tool, and from there, you get better. By the time you start analyzing, the truth is that most times you learn on the job. Yes, you just get the basic skills, but when you're on the job, you start to learn, you start getting exposed to different problems that you have to solve, because what applies to A might not apply to B, and what applies to B might not apply to C. So it's all about, and that's where your soft skill have to come into play, your ability to now be able to apply the basic knowledge that you've gotten to other places. Thank you very much. I hope I've not wasted
Wow. Chioma, thank you so much. Like, you've actually broken it down. And one thing I got from it is that it's pretty simple. Everything is determination, focus. Looking at what Bamidele has said earlier, Iremide, Chioma Okafor, and Musa, all what they are saying together is it's pretty simple. It has to do with your focus, determination, consistency. Just stay relevant to it. Don't jump around. Don't be too moved by everything happening. There's always going to be trend. Like what Abraham said, there's always going to be trend. There's always going to be trend. Like something would always come up newly, right? So the truth is that just get your hand dirty on something, get a grasp on it, and from there you can now jump into the next thing, right? That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Chioma. I really appreciate that. Also, I have another question for you before I get Fifi. I know Fifi has something for you, but let me just shift her a bit. Let me give her a body shake, right? Okay. Now, I want to ask something about your achievement. What are you so proud of about your achievement in this space, this analytics space? Like your achievement, what is it like? What are you most proud of?
I think the fact that I impact people, that's like I coach people, and at the end of the day, I see where they get to. I think that alone is a whole lot of achievement. Yes, I'm a trainer. I train people in data analysis. And I love it when I see people that have coached come back to give testimonies. Perhaps they come for interviews and they're like, oh, I got this job thanks to you and every other thing. That aside, the fact that I'm this kind of person that loves, like, I love challenges. When you bring a challenge to me and I'm able to surmount it, I feel so proud of myself. Yeah, I just feel so happy doing that. I've been in so many data challenges and data challenge games, competition. The last one was the one that was held by eHealth Africa, and my team came up as the first.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just love to be And another thing I didn't mention is that when you are going into the data space, please, networking is very important. You need like a network of like-minded people. It helps a lot. Like it helps you even when you feel like you are like lagging behind. They come and kind of pull you up. Because sometimes in life we need that person that will be there to share you and say, let's move. This is it. This is the way forward. Let's look this way and every other thing. So yes, that's it for me.
Well, thank you very much. One thing I got from it is networking, which is very important, because looking at the space that we have now in the analytics space, a lot of people will tell you, I can do this, right? But when you get them on the job, they don't get to do it. So your community can actually be of help to you, build you up, give you that confidence. Like she also said earlier, like Okafor said, she said something that you will learn on the job. So apparently, if you have that open mind to say, every day is going to be a learning day for me, every opportunity, every task is always going to be a learning platform for me, then you will succeed in data analytics, right? Because it's always going to be problem upon problem. Like the normal trends are good, probably know they finish. That's data analytics for you. When you feel you have fixed your model, you have your dashboard on point, that's when something else will come up and be like, I didn't see this. So there's always going to be a problem. So let me give Fifi. Thank you very much, Yoma. That was a fantastic, a fantabulous, can you borrow me one English? Just borrow me one. I'm not so good. A marvelous speech. I love it. Thank you so much. Fifi.
Okay, yes, please. I would like to ask Chioma a question. She's and then she coaches people. So I think she'll be in the right position to just give us an idea of a data analysis project, like a step-by-step how you can just carry out a data analysis project. Like we could just have like an example of a data analysis project. So people just have an idea of the simplicity that we are talking about, because just like when we're in school and they say further maths, the teacher will say it is simple. The students will be wondering, really? Because the word sounds so big, data analysis, you're analyzing data. So just an example of a project and the step-by-step of how to carry it out. I would really appreciate to hear that. Chioma.
Okay, yeah. So when you say example, let's look at an example of a business, yes. So yeah. So somebody that is into sales, a business, a company that they have one or two products that they sell. So as a data analyst, what is expected of you? So basically you want to know what are their metrics, what are they looking out for, what are their key performance indicators that they're looking out for, right? You want to know, most companies are after, of course, every business is after profit, right? But gone are the days when companies just look out for profits. Yes, every business thrives on profits, but gone are the days when you are just solely concerned about your products and every other thing. Now we're looking at customers, we're looking at customer needs, we're looking at what will interest your customer. And that is where also data analysis come into play. So yes, we want Mr. A to come and buy from us today. And we want to make sure that after buying from us today, he continues to buy from us, because apart from us, we have other competitors in the business, right? If I'm selling, let's say, for example, I deal on electronics. I'm not the only one dealing on electronics. And if I must have one customer that will patronize me, then that customer should be able to come back to me. Now, that is where data analysis comes into play. Now, how do we do that? First and foremost, you need to make sure that your data gathering is on point. So you are not just looking at your sales book where you have your cost of good, the sale, the profit. You're also looking at the customer side. You want to get reviews from your customer. You want to know your customer, like your customer journey this time around. You're trying to know, okay, this particular customer, this segment of. So sometimes you find that the businesses even go as far as segmenting their customers. So what young people like might not be what older people like. What medium class people, like let's say working class people, want all the time and not be. So it all depends on the kind of business you are doing. Now you see why I say data analysis cuts across all this. Now, what your data gathering will do for you is to help you gather data, but also the customers they are dealing with, your business, your clients this time around. Now, when you have been able to gather this data very well, the next thing you want to do is you want to clean it up, because most times these data are not always 100% clean. And to be honest with you, if your data is not clean, By the time you start doing your analysis, it's going to be telling you something else, which is actually not what you want, right? So your ability to gather this data, one, clean it up. And then when you're done cleaning, you want to give a model for that data. You want to come up with a model that will suit it. I know some, I can't remember the person that talked about where you now have to use your primary keys, the secondary keys, create your relationship, because most times, just like I've said, this data might not be coming from just one data source. It might even be coming from different data sources. I know Remediate talked about moving from just Excel to the database and so on. It could even be coming from online. It could be coming from the website. It could just come from anywhere. But then the ability to now model it so that it makes sense, because if you still do not model your it will end up giving you something that it's far from what your data is telling you. By the time you're done doing all these things and you start to do your analysis, it will give you what you want. And the aim of doing all this is that after you are done with your analysis, you want to come up with a report. So yes, you've been able to come up with beautiful pie charts, bar charts, and so on. What are you telling me? I'm a stakeholder in this business, or better still, I'm your manager. Tell me, give me information. What do I need to know about this that you have done so far? That is when you now ask a data analyst, you want to start bringing out insights from these businesses, from this analysis that you've done. Based on the insights, okay, so you can be telling them, oh, at this particular time of the year, maybe because it's Christmas, everybody wants to buy something, we make more sales. Not just that we make more sales, a particular product is always sold out at that particular point in time. So you might want to check next year, instead of buying that particular product at a particular quantity, you might want to increase. And then maybe a product that didn't really sell, you might want to decrease. That way you don't have a particular product staying in the shelf for years without going, because business is all about turning over, right? So you want something that when you put it there, it's going up. And you can only do that because data analysis is there to help you. And that's why you see some businesses that are already making use of data analysis and they know how to make use of the data analysis. They are thriving well. Now, that is aside from the sales aspect. When you go to the customer aspect, you are sure that, okay, I understand this is my customer needs and you're able to meet it. If I'm your customer and I know that anytime I walk into this place, I'm going to get this, and I'm going to get a particular specification that I want it. Why won't I come back? I'll always come back. And okay, good things some businesses are doing, you find out that even when you have done, they want to follow up with you. Okay, yes, you bought a product from us, we want to know how well is it serving you. You know, even some businesses have gone as far as, let's say, for example, if it's a motor company, a company that deals on cars, apart from buying from them, they might even give you some, some incentives, like you can service your car with us for the period of 6 months after buying. All these things are things that you do to retain your customer. But you are the data analyst that have to come up with insights that the company can now work on. So I don't know. Fifi, have I been able to answer your question?
Yes, so absolutely. More than I even expected. I mean, you really gave us enough examples and instances. You're really a teacher. And we definitely learned from you. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. Okay, so I'll just take it up to Ebenezer, please just, introduce our next speaker.
Yeah, thank you, Fifi. Thank you, Chioma. That was a fantastic speech. And we have on board, Rashid Abdul Karim in the house. He's a Baba in this space. Like, he's a Baba. When I mean Baba, when I tell you I have a Baba, yes, he's someone that is grounded. Baba is grounded in data analytics, data engineering, data science. Like, Fifi, just go ahead with the profile. Let's welcome Baba.
Okay, they said Baba. So with all due respect, by the time we all hear the citation, we'll be able to relate to this Baba. Okay, so he has BSc, he has MOS, he has MCDA, MCT, ACL, NMRA. He's a Chief Data Officer, Hazen Technologies. Is a contributor, is a Microsoft certified professional, is a data scientist, is a professional data expert with 9 years experience in delivering data solutions with stints of experience in research, data aggregation, data analytics, statistical modeling, data science, data engineering, machine learning, product software management, and web app automations. He has delivered several projects in both public and private sectors of Nigeria. And he also has 5 years experience in marketing innovation consulting for FMCGs. He works with big data analytics, he works with marketing innovation, and he works as a project manager as well. And he's currently a provost at Eco Innovation School. Please, drum rolls for Baba. This is amazing, and we've been waiting and expecting. You are super welcome. Please, can you say hi to the house, Mr. Rashid?
Yeah, with
Baba
your
Tunde,
video
and Karim.
So sorry, I'm with my baby. I'm sorry. I would have to. Yeah, I can hear some voice in the background. Yeah, so sorry about that. Yeah, this is Karim Rashid. So sorry I came late to the meeting. It's been a lot of work today for me, running around some few things. Yeah, so don't mind Ebenezer. You know, I've been a boy over the years, and I've been working as a colleague over the years with everyone in the space. You know, no, there's no Baba anyway, and I really don't look like a Baba. Maybe I would have even shaved my beard before I came for this meeting.
Yeah, so good to
It's
have
nice
you,
to have
Rashid.
you.
So good to have you. Okay, Rashid, I have a question for you. And this question is targeted more like looking at what we have said over, like what Bamidele said. Bamidele started with that. We have actually not scratched about 20% of analytics in Nigeria and the way it is. So I'm now like, my question to you now is, okay, as maybe like a special advisor to the president on maybe strategic planning and all that, how would you drive the adoption of analytics across different sectors in Nigeria?
So thank you for the question. For me, I think all the speakers have said a lot, and I think working with some of these organizations over the years has actually given me some bits of understanding of what exactly they need. As far as I'm concerned, we currently don't have a data management plan in the country. So to look into analytics for the country as a whole, it's going to be a very big tussle for me. So it's the first thing I think for the country is to understand how the country can, bring up a data management policy. Over the years, I've worked with a lot of data. We work with open data sets, public data sets over the years. And what I see is, there's no policy in Nigeria that allows, individuals who understand data to get hands-on on different data that Nigeria aggregates from any corner where they aggregate them. And one thing I've seen about some countries of the world is if you go into BigQuery public data sets, Google public data sets, you're going to see, I've seen a lot of data in there where you have to see data of accidents that happened within New Jersey, California, within streets of California, you see data of accidents, the accidents that occurred, and you see, data of earthquakes that occurred in the street of Japan and all of that. I can imagine, looking at the recent building that collapsed in Ikoyi and all of that. I'm not sure people had a very good data repository of people that died, people that got injured. What we're just doing in Nigeria was just, making noise all over the place. And putting all of these things together, it's very difficult to even look into analytics as far as, the country is concerned, or probably when you are a special advisor to the vice president on data analysis. All being said, we can always look at, getting to advise them on how they can put some data team together who understands data and who can, build a data repository for them, and, an whole app system where you have analytical processing system that analyze data for them. Because, for instance, if you want to analyze Nigerian data, you're probably going to be putting some of those data in Power BI or Tableau or any one of those system. You're not going to probably put them on your system or something. You're probably going to have an OLAP system they analyze the data, and because some of the data will come from different repositories into a data warehouse as far as the data is concerned, and you just have an OLAP system somewhere that quickly analyze everything and everybody can see it at a glance. So for me, that's the advice I can give to maybe vice president, which is a good friend, and the president, which is probably not a good friend. So that's
Parashi, thank you very much, boss. Thank you so much. Actually, you've actually said a lot, and one of the things I grabbed from it is that we actually need a database. Basically, where there's a database, there's room for you to query past record to predict what's going to happen in the future, and then you can even build analysis around what you have based on your past record. Well, that's huge. That's beautiful. That makes a lot of sense. Also, I have another question. Looking at, apart from even having database and all of that, I can say maybe private industries, private sectors, and private companies apparently have database, right? And maybe those that even have it to the public. For example, say NSE, Nigeria Stock Exchange, Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, and all of that. Now, I have concerns around even the data that we have, even not even going fast with database issue. So I don't know if there's a way you can address that also. For example, there was a topic from Gifted Analyst, I think it was last week. They talked on figures contradicting the real sense. Let me try and get it. Say, okay, official figures contradicting reality when it comes to inflation. Would you say that data is being used as a source of making those decisions when it comes to inflation and all of that? Or is it just something that we are not even paying attention to data at all? Maybe we're just sitting somewhere and someone is just deciding it outside data.
Well, thank you very much. So before I answer the question, I'm very sure we don't have a whistleblower here, so that I don't fall into victim of NSAS. So for me, I think one, all over the world, you don't have a 90, let me say 100% data accuracy. There is something that some guys are working on. Google Brains. There's a platform called Google Brains. Which was head by Andrew Ng before he left for deep learning AI. So the thing is, all over the world, there's no 100% accuracy around data. And that's why most of the time when you're doing machine learning and all the likes of AI and robotics and all of those things, you have to build model, cross-validate, hyperparameter optimization and other things to ensure that you manage your data to actually manage it to the extent that you can manage this 5% or 10% level of error in the data. That's for all over the world. Now, coming to shore of Nigeria, for me, currently, I don't think there is any data that is like I can be sure of 50% accuracy in Nigeria. And why I'm saying that is, I've been into this space over the years. I've worked with Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, and I work with the Southwestern region of zone, which is in Oyo State. I will work with the Federal Bureau of Statistics in Oyo State, and I see some of the extrapolations and some of those forecasts that were made from some of the things we do. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, hope there's no whistleblower in this room. So to talk of some of the decisions we make in Nigeria, I've said it in one of my posts. I said, the problem we need to solve first is to understand, to know if data is important to us in Nigeria. Currently, I don't see it anywhere. Nobody is showing it. Nobody's planning towards that. Yemi Kale have been the chief statistician over the years now. And for me, he has done a lot of job. But when you present your data to the stakeholders in Nigeria and they're telling you can't present this to Nigeria, it's not possible for you to sit down and say you want to present it because they hold you to ransom. So looking at the Nigerian Stock Exchange, looking at the National Bureau of Statistics, looking at all the corners of where we get data on a daily basis, it's really not a 50% accuracy that someone can go out with and make decision and say this is the best data you can get. On daily basis, you can see investors don't always depend on Nigerian Bureau or Nigerian Stock Exchange data. most of the investor that comes to the shore of Nigeria that wants to invest in some of the companies in Nigeria would have to probably work with investment companies, Cowrie-wise, Cordros Investments and all of that. In the real sense, in a matter of, just forecasting and looking at the data that you have just recently from Nigerian Stock Exchange, you could even easily say this is where I can invest my money in. So the problem is there's no trust anywhere on a cultural level. So to talk of data accuracy, we're totally not there at all. So that is what I would say. And finally, for me, most of the decisions that we make in Nigeria, they are not actually decisions that comes from data. These are decisions that comes from those who control the country. So that's it.
Wow, thank you, Rashid. Like you have said a lot. Actually, I'm so certain that whistleblowers are not coming after you. Or NSAS. So good to have you. We have a lot of questions. Seriously, we have a lot of questions for our speakers, but because of time, we will need to put an end to it. We'll take up questions from our YouTube channels for people that are watching us live. And Fifi, over to you. Hello, Fifi. Hello. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I can hear you. I wanted to check the questions that we have, so I'll know if we have other questions that we could take. But very quickly, I would just love to ask Rashid if he could just help us with, telling us the quality of good data, like data quality. What are the characteristics of a good data model? I think we'd like to know that.
Yeah, it's a very simple answer. There's no two answers to it. It's the source of the data.
That's huge.
Yeah. It's the source of the data. If the source of the data is not good, there's nothing you want to do. No matter what you're doing on the data, it's rubbish.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Then we'd also like to know the challenges that you faced as a data analyst, like the data challenges that you faced in your experience. What are the challenges, major ones?
Okay, I think for me, because I work with a consulting firm, so I think it's a lot of challenges that one have to face. So being a data analyst for me, over the years, or being in that space over the years has been around ensuring that the data we're gathering is accurate. And over the years, I've worked with different clients. The most challenging thing for them is when I worked with a company recently. So I will just give a tip on that. So I consulted for Kimberly-Clark and Ryan. And the problem we had was after I finished a project with Friesland Campina, I did another project with Kimberly-Clark, that's the company that produces that manufactures diapers, diapers and sanitary pads and the lights, Huggies, diapers and other things. So what I was trying to do for them, we're trying to help them improve their footprint into different stores. Like I think 47,000 stores in Nigeria. So and these are retail stores, informal retail stores. And the problem was while we're gathering data, we have guys on the field who gather data for us on the field. And while we get this data, we'll do the analytics of the data with different tools. And at the end of the day, when we present the data to some of the stakeholders in the company, they will tell you, no, I don't agree with your data. Because currently, you can't tell me more have highest numeric analysis in Nigeria. Kids are the best, are the highest numeric analysis. So we need to now see how we can question our data around how does the data come and how did we analyze. So it becomes very challenging when you have some of these data inaccuracy, and people are challenging some of this information you are throwing out. I know for some of the people that works in a company and give those results within the company, they might not have this challenge, because if you're working with a consulting firm, they have to pay you and you have to do the job. And most of the time, the most challenging thing is when people comes in and tell you that your data is not accurate. It's the biggest challenge I faced over the years in the data space.
Oh, thank you very much, Rashid. Like, you've actually eat it up. I think we're eating too much in our time. So I would ask us if for our speakers, for people listening to us live, okay, for our last note, what you want to drop with your with our people to listen to us. Okay, what do you want them to take home? Your list to take home from what we have said. We have said a lot, and I can tell you that I'm sure I do count on some of them, but then I think we can just drop a summary or a note for them, and what you would advise them in the future for our future data analysts. Okay, okay, let me start with Chioma Okafo. Hello, Chioma.
Yeah, hi, Ebenezer.
Yeah. Did you get the question? Sorry, did you get the question?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
so like
no,
just
I
a last
didn't.
note, a summary thing for our viewers. Okay, what would we have said a lot today, and it's really even me, I lost count actually. But what would you want to drop in their minds that will just keep ringing in their head?
Yeah, if you are just about entering the data space, please jump on it. It's quite broad, and like it's a skill that will never go out of demand. So you can go, just jump on it, start from somewhere, and just like we said, just be consistent, determined, and most especially have passion for what you do. When you have passion, that's what drives you most of the time. And then don't forget the network. When you feel like you need some help, reach out. Are willing to, and that is it. So just come on board. And if you're already there, please continue doing what you know how to do, and don't forget to keep upskilling yourself. Very important. You don't just stay one place. You have technology keeps evolving, so you have to keep evolving with it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Abraham. Last note.
Oh yeah, so the last note, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So I would like to state that the choice of tool varies from one organization to another. But then if you want to become a superstar, I mean, as a data analyst, one of the things you should do is to always ensure that you're open to learning and you're very flexible. While at that, it is very, very important to ensure that you stick to focus and consistency, because eventually that is what will make you to become master of several tools and not just someone who jumps from one trend to another without focus. Thanks.
Wow, thank you very much, Abraham. Thank you so much. Irimide.
Hi, Ebenezer. So a
welcome.
final note for me, for those of you that have started, maybe you started little by little, like you started data analytics on a small note, you started learning, I would say that try your luck and apply to a better organization. For example, you are doing an intern in a small company that cannot even afford to have a database, and then the whole thing is messed up there. Try and apply to a better organization. You never can tell. They might just prove to them that you can learn, right? And then you are consistent with your learning. Someone might give you a chance, right? Because you actually need a chance to learn in order for you to grow in this career, right? You just can't stay in an organization that is small. It's going to mess up your career. You're going to just stay small, right? So you need to be able to grow. You need something that will push you up in the morning, that will make you wake up at the middle of the midnight to want to know more about a particular tool or about a particular problem that you encountered at work, right? But if your organization is not giving you that what would I call it, that ability, that force, right, it's best you actually apply to better organizations. Find stuff out there, but then just put your best foot out. You never can tell, right? Someone might take a bet on you and bring you aboard to a more structured organization, and that is going to help your career in data analytics. And I also say for those that are actually getting started, right? It's large, as everyone has said. There's room for growth. We are all learning. We all learn every day. And I also want to suggest to you, there is something that that helped me in previous times from my NYC. There is this thing they do during interviews. This are judgmental assessment, whereby they will give you a clock. One is going clockwise, one is going anti-clockwise. Then they'll tell you to predict the next one, the shape of the next one, right? I'm trying to remember the word for that particular. It's like a puzzle,
psychometric
right?
test.
Yeah, it's like a puzzle. So you need to, if you actually do more of that, what that is going to help is going to help your brain, right? Just looking at a picture, like a visualization, you can tell the trend. You can tell the way it's going, right? You can tell your manager, oh, the way I see this thing going, I feel this is what is likely to happen. And that is where a manager will like give you listening here. And that's why you become a person of value. Then they can bank on it to be like, oh, really, I feel I can give this person a chance. If I give person a chance, the person is going to do more, right? So you have to upskill yourself. You have to learn. You have to improve yourself. And then I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Irimide. And my own take note from what you said is Japa, JP. Okay, I learned that.
Exactly. If they're not giving you what you want, please, Japa.
Okay, to Bamidele Adiola. Hello.
Hey, Ebenezer.
Yeah,
So
please.
for me, the final note for me will be that, okay, just make it a summary, and that would be that I keep hearing these verb of certificate. So certificate is better, but the skills is the best. So I'll give it that. I see a lot of upcoming people running after certification. I want to get certified, this and that. But I think the skills at the beginning level is better. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. That was pretty cool. Very short one. Okay, so for Rashid, final note, Rashid.
I think the guys have said it all. For me, it's just for anybody coming here to this space to understand what exactly it needs to do. So when you understand what you need to do, you know which one of the tools or what exactly do you need to analyze. And I think someone had said it some few times ago that so in this, I think it is meeting, that there are a lot of AI tools that comes around to take analytics job. Now it is important for everybody to know that one, you need to always understand what your industry needs. So when you understand what your industry needs, you would be able to pivot into what exactly you need to learn. So that's, for me, is the best thing. So understand your industry, and that I think is the major difference between data experts and software developers. Most of the software developers don't always want to come into the business, and that's what kills most of them in different fields. The highest you can see most of the time a software developer can get to is probably a chief technology officer. And you can see a data expert going to a vice president, data science or data analytics in a company. So, and at that level, it's not about you analyzing data anymore. I can very tell you that the last time I used Power BI was maybe 2 years ago or something. But because what I do now is more of managing people and creating a lot of niche for the business. So it is very important that everybody understand that as you grow in the data space, you need to understand the business. If you don't understand the business, I'm not sure as a data person you can be up there. And that's just the reality. Even if you go to Microsoft, Google and Apple and different other big four companies are all there. Most of the guys that are vice presidents of data science or data analytics are the guys who are into the core aspect of the business and understand what tools to use, what to decipher the business tactics and all of that. So that's that for me.
Thank you very much. Fifi, over to you.
So it's been an amazing time, and I'm sure everybody is excited. I'm sure our guest speakers enjoyed themselves. I'm sure our hosts enjoyed themselves. My co-moderator, I'm sure you enjoyed yourself as well. It was a very wonderful experience. And, the most important people, our end receivers of all the knowledge. I'm sure you all enjoyed yourselves and most especially gained something, gained one or two, gained a lot, not even one or two, a lot. And I'm so happy that this, went well. And, most of the questions were answered and, we got amazing answers. So we're just excited and I'm happy, I'm glad, and I'm fulfilled. I feel fulfilled. I really learned a lot myself. I mean, there's so much energy now to go into data.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. Yeah. Thank you, my co-Fifi, my co-moderator Fifi. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Chioma, for gracing the occasion. Thank you, Abraham Musa. Thank you, Iremide Olatunji. Right. Thank you, Bamidele Adamu. Thank you, Rashid Abdul Karim. Thank you, Benga Adeyemo. Thank you, Chioma Okafo. Thank you all, and thank you, our viewers. See you at the next edition. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Fifi. Bye.
All right. Thank you, everyone.